Hey everybody, it's Kenji again. I'm here with the one, the only Jeris Miller. You might know her as Dakini_3. She's one of the all-stars in the social media community here in Seattle. Everybody knows her, everybody loves her because she's out there doing really great things. She's one of those people who to me is really inspiring, and I see her as part of the glue to our community. And so I'm really excited to have the opportunity to go out here and interview. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity, Jairus.
Well, thank you. I'm. Thank you very much. I'm pleased to be here.
All right. So Jairus, if you could just tell us a little bit about you, what you do.
I actually did come from technology. That's where my career started. I've worked several different places, primarily Bolt Beranek and Newman. I was there after the launch of the DARPA project. This was quite some time ago in the 80s. DARPA was actually in the late 60s and 70s, but I got there yeah, in the 80s, and that was pretty exciting. Just that was kind of a imprinting that kind of set the mold for me as a technology person. I worked for Intel and also for Microsoft and a few other companies as a contractor, and so I've been around technology for a while.
Well, very cool. So let's shift the conversation over there to social media. So you're out there in the community doing your thing with social media. I know you're out there helping nonprofits with social media. Curious where your passion for it comes from.
Well, basically, the passion for me comes from I'm really interested in the co-joining of commerce and compassion. You know, I've been in hardware and software. I've been in very rigorous programs that needed to deliver a product. So I understand the motivation of commerce. But simultaneously, I had the opportunity to make a shift to Seattle Children's Hospital, where I support our Chief Medical Information Officer as a web developer. I do what our work together is care guidelines for our children and clinical-based policies, which although is technically not very challenging, it is really important work. And what it's really done for me is really bring home how much heart we have in our Seattle community. We're all very supportive of Seattle Children's Hospital, which is a phenomenal institution. Through my role at Children's, I've worked as the ambassador to the Seeds of Compassion. The Seeds of Compassion was a 5-day conference last year, and Children's was an underwriter of that conference, and we hosted Archbishop Desmond Tutu and His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama and a host of scientific luminaries speaking specifically about our youth, how we're raising our youth, and what kind of environment and legacy we are leaving our youth. And so these are all issues that are near and dear to my heart. And since I'm very interested in our fair region and the tremendous philanthropic largesse that we have here in Seattle, and the fact that we have a community that really cares about our environment and our kids and how our kids are growing up, I really find social media to be the perfect medium for bringing my passion for compassion and commerce together.
Great. So, like I mentioned earlier, you're out there helping nonprofits as well with social media, and it might be kind of a foreign concept to many of them. How can nonprofits utilize social media?
Well, again, through by virtue of it being a storytelling medium, most nonprofits have a story to tell. And so it's a natural partnership for them. It's a really determining what components of social media will best serve their particular nonprofit. And that's what we're on the road to discovering for all of us at this point in time. I don't think anyone has a handle on that situation right now. But I like a lot of what Chris Brogan is doing with his trust communities, and also he's been really outspoken. There's a few people that have been really in social media that have been really good at kind of breaking the path for this compassion commerce partnership, and Brogan's a really good one. Also, change.org is very good as well, and that is specifically geared towards nonprofits. And really, we're just educating people what is available in in the social media platforms, and how can different tools and applications best be used by your particular nonprofit to get your message out there.
Perfect. Great. And so, if a nonprofit wants to contact you, find out more information, how can they go about doing that?
Well, primarily I do work through the Seeds of Compassion and the Compassionate Action Network, although I do partner with a lot of other institutions, like the Mind and Life Institute is one that I'm doing some work with. And of course, I do work at Seattle Children's. But you can reach me through the Seeds of Compassion, the Compassionate Action Network. You can also, I'm also on LinkedIn under Jeris J.C. Miller in the Seattle Network. And then my Twitter handle is Dakini_3.
All right. So speaking of Dakini_3, actually, and I'm sorry to say this, I want to call you Dakini3 half the time, but
That's fine.
just I guess that's how Twitter has ruined my life.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we only know each other by our handles now.
So, anyways, where does that come from?
Well, actually, the proper pronunciation, it is from a Tibetan modality. It is called Dakini, and what Dakinis actually are they are bridgers between worlds. And since we are moving into a new social media world, Dakini, I'm being American, I would call it Dakini, but that's also my nod to Kathleen Hanna and Bikini Kill, so who had an amazing voice, a prophetic voice. So I adopted Dakini 3.
Great. Well, very cool. Well, everybody, this is Jeris Miller. She can be found at a bunch of events around the town, and she's very, very good people. So go out and say hey. Yeah, and thank you very much, Jeris.
Thank you.
All right.